Battery metal demand is rising due to renewable energy and electric automobiles. Lithium, cobalt, and nickel, essential battery ingredients, are seeing record demand. However, terrestrial mines are becoming scarcer, worsening the global deficit. Deep-sea mining sounds promising. Deep-sea mining, which extracts minerals from the ocean floor, has been studied for decades. Underwater technology has made these bottom resources more accessible. Researchers and industry professionals are becoming more hopeful about the ocean floor's ability to meet global battery metal demand. Polymetallic nodules, potato-sized masses of manganese, nickel, cobalt, and copper, abound on abyssal plains. The ocean floor's undiscovered nodules could solve the world's battery metal shortfall. Deep-sea explorations have been led by Deep Green Metals Inc., now TMC. TMC and other industry players want to use remotely operated vehicles to gather battery metals, solving the global shortfall. Deep-sea mining raises environmental problems. These activities may destabilize marine ecosystems, threatening biodiversity and seafloor habitat. Thus, the International Seabed Authority, (ISA), and other environmental groups are calling for additional environmental research before deep-sea mining begins. Deep-sea mining businesses are addressing these challenges with responsible mining. They claim that ocean floor battery metal extraction has less environmental impact than land-based mining, which causes deforestation, habitat damage, and pollution. Reducing terrestrial mine dependency could also affect geopolitics. China and the Democratic Republic of Congo have most of the world's lithium, cobalt, and nickel reserves. Deep-sea mining could minimize reliance on these nations for battery metals. As deep-sea mining advances, battery metal demand must be balanced with environmental impact. This new business might solve the global battery metal deficit with careful legislation, technological advances, and responsible mining. Time will tell if the world is ready to delve deep for key resources. As battery metal demand rises and technology improves, the deep sea's potential is becoming harder to ignore. Battery metals are in high demand as the world moves toward sustainability and electrification. Lithium, cobalt, and nickel are needed to make electric vehicle (EV) batteries and renewable energy storage systems, and demand is rising. Deep-sea mining could meet this expanding demand. TMC is creating advanced robotics and deep-sea machines that can navigate the harsh deep-sea environment. These machines remotely gather polymetallic nodules from the seabed and bring them to the top without harming the marine ecosystem. Deep-sea mining proponents emphasize that the extraction procedure involves no drilling or blasting, decreasing its carbon footprint. If managed appropriately, deep-sea mining could be a more sustainable option to land-based mining. Skeptics worry about marine life's long-term impacts. Sediment plumes from extraction may disrupt photosynthesis and oxygen levels in water, harming ecosystem life. Nodule removal may also disturb deep-sea species habitats. Mining firms are investing considerably in baseline surveys and environmental impact studies to address these environmental problems. They collaborate with marine biologists, ecologists, and other scientists to understand these ecosystems and prevent mining damage. Global organizations like the ISA are creating a strong deep-sea mining regulatory framework. A mining code governing exploration, extraction, and rehabilitation is the goal. Deep-sea mining offers many opportunities, but it faces enormous environmental, regulatory, and technological hurdles. Deep-sea mining could solve the world's battery metal deficit with proper management and coordination between firms, scientists, and worldwide organizations. This emerging industry is being watched worldwide. Deep-sea mining could meet the world's growing demand for battery metals in a sustainable, economically feasible, and environmentally friendly way, leading to a greener, more electric future. The mining industry is exploring new horizons due to rising worldwide demand for battery metals like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, which are essential to renewable energy and electric vehicles. With its huge, unexplored mineral riches, the deep sea is a tempting option. Deep-sea mining may solve the world's battery metal deficit. Polymetallic nodules are abundant in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, CCZ, which spans the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and Mexico. Deep-sea mining targets the CCZ's seafloor nickel, cobalt, copper, and manganese nodules. TMC's aggressive exploration has yielded excellent results. CIOB is another important region. India, which has an ISA exploration contract, is interested in this basin's polymetallic nodules. The CIOB may help provide global battery metal with numerous nations exploring. SMS are abundant in the Manus Basin. Before its bankruptcy, Nautilus Minerals was interested in these deposits because they include copper, zinc, silver, gold, and cobalt. Despite environmental concerns, Deep Green, formerly the metals company, is interested in this area. Hydrothermal vents along the transatlantic geotraverse produce copper, zinc, gold, and possibly battery-grade lithium. The TAG hydrothermal field has been intensively investigated for its unusual fauna and geology, but mining potential is also of interest. The East China Sea's SMS-rich Okinawa Trough. As part of its plan to reduce its reliance on terrestrial mines and imported metals, JOGMEC, Japan Oil, Gas, and Metals National Corporation, has been exploring this region. Deep-sea mining poses many environmental risks, but these places contain great promise. Exploiting these resources and protecting marine habitats requires a difficult balance. Environmental studies and rigorous regulations are needed to protect bottom habitats and marine life. Deep-sea mining has huge potential despite technological and environmental constraints. These promising places could help solve the battery metal scarcity and move us toward a more sustainable future if managed properly. Skilling's Mining Review: mining for news, so you don't have to.
Deep-sea mining discoveries are likely to benefit multiple nations. China is regarded as a global champion in submersible technology and has invested heavily in hydrothermal vent mining in the deep sea. However, some Pacific nations, such as Palau, Fiji, Samoa, and Micronesia, oppose deep-sea mining because of its potential impact on ocean health. Deep-sea mining could benefit developing economies that rely on land-based extraction for the same metals. The International Seabed Authority, ISA, has proposed that royalties paid to the authority from deep-sea mining operations should be shared for the benefit of mankind as a whole, with a focus on developing countries that lack the technology and capital to conduct their own seabed mining. Additionally, the United States has invested in the development of technology to explore the deep-sea environment and identify prospective extraction sites. As the world endeavors for a more sustainable and electrified future, the demand for battery metals continues to increase. Traditional terrestrial sources of these metals are becoming increasingly depleted, creating the possibility for a new frontier deep-sea extraction. However, the exploration of these untapped resources has geopolitical consequences. A smattering of nations control the global supply of essential battery metals like cobalt, nickel, and lithium. For example, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is the source of more than 60% of the world's cobalt, whereas China controls a substantial portion of the world's rare earth element production. There are geopolitical hazards associated with the concentration of these resources, as any disruptions in these countries could affect global supply chains. Deep-sea mining offers the chance to diversify these sources. The International Seabed Authority, ISA, governs the seafloor in international waters, which contains enormous reserves of these metals. Countries or companies backed by nations that can successfully develop deep-sea mining technologies stand to acquire a larger share of the market for battery metals, thereby redistributing global power dynamics. As was the case in the past with oil and gas exploration, a new resource race could emerge as nations vie for access to these valuable seabed mineral deposits. Numerous nations including China, Russia, Japan, South Korea, and small island states of the Pacific have already sponsored corporations to obtain exploration contracts from the ISA. This may result in increased competition and territorial disputes on the high seas. The ISA, which was created by the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, plays a crucial role in the geopolitics of deep-sea mining. The authority regulates the extraction of resources from international waters and is currently drafting regulations for deep-sea mining. The importance of the ISA's role in establishing these principles and its influence over resource allocation in shaping geopolitical dynamics cannot be overstated. Additionally, Deep-sea mining introduces a novel element to environmental diplomacy. Given that potential mining activities could have substantial environmental effects, global cooperation and agreement on sustainable practices will be essential. This may lead to an increase in blue diplomacy efforts to create consensus on how to balance economic gains and environmental protection. In addition, states not directly involved in deep-sea mining could utilize their soft power to influence mining policies. Foreign policy can use environmental advocacy to negotiate stricter environmental regulations, or even to advocate for a moratorium on mining activities. Deep-sea mining is a complex and evolving geopolitical issue. It combines resource security, technological prowess, environmental concerns, and regulatory oversight. In the deep-sea frontier, a new geopolitical map is being drawn as nations and corporations venture into the abyss to secure the metals that will fuel our future. In the coming decades, the dynamics of this new resource race will unquestionably shape global power structures. In the realm of deep-sea extraction, technology is indispensable. The ability to develop and operate the sophisticated apparatus required for deep-sea mining operations is restricted to a small number of countries and organizations. Those nations that are technologically advanced will have significant advantages and may be able to dominate their industry, altering the balance of power. The ability to finance the substantial costs associated with deep-sea mining exploration and operations is an additional factor that will influence geopolitical outcomes. The nations and corporations able to make such substantial investments are likely to have a significant impact on the global distribution of battery metals. The competition for deep-sea resources has the potential to exacerbate existing geopolitical tensions and even spark new conflicts. Controversies over territorial claims and environmental impacts may disrupt international relations. There is, however, the potential for increased cooperation. The universal requirement for battery metals and the shared duty to safeguard the marine environment result in unprecedented levels of international cooperation. Deep-sea mining could substantially alter the dynamics of international trade. If their deep-sea mining endeavors are successful, nations that presently import battery metals could become self-sufficient or even exporters. This could impact global trade agreements, alliances, and economic partnerships. Access to battery metals is not just an economic issue for many nations, it is also a matter of national security. These metals are indispensable to numerous technological applications, including defense systems. Deep-sea mining could provide a more secure and reliable source of these essential materials, thereby reducing reliance on potentially unstable or antagonistic nations. Mining beneath the seafloor could provide some small island nations with much-needed economic development opportunities. However, these nations are also susceptible to environmental devastation and overdependence on a single industry. It will be a significant challenge to achieve a balance between economic development and sustainability. Deep-sea mining will inevitably alter the existing geopolitical landscape, spawning new alliances, rivalries, and power structures. To navigate this new frontier will require cautious management and international cooperation to ensure that the race for resources does not come at the expense of environmental degradation or global stability. Skillings, more mining, more news.
Deep-sea mining has the potential to have substantial economic and environmental consequences for multinational economies. While proponents of deep-sea mining believe that it might produce the majority of the minerals the world requires with minimum environmental damage, others argue that biodiversity loss due to mining activities is unavoidable and permanent on a human scale, because nodules take millions of years to develop. Furthermore, deep-sea mining could harm emerging countries that rely on land-based mining for the same commodities. Concerns have also been raised concerning environmental impact. Light and noise pollution, sediment plumes, and biodiversity loss due to widespread habitat fragmentation are all consequences of mining. Negative effects on world fisheries could jeopardize 1 billion people's major protein source and 200 million people's livelihoods. As a viable solution to the world's growing lack of battery metals, mining overall is crucial to the renewable energy and electric vehicle industries. Its successful implementation could have far-reaching financial consequences for both the global and national economies. Mining activities that are successful would liberate vast quantities of metals such as nickel, cobalt, copper, manganese, and potentially lithium, generating new revenue streams. The financial advantages for countries who fund these mining ventures might be substantial. The minerals alone in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, CCZ, a prospective zone for deep-sea mining in the Pacific Ocean, are believed to be worth trillions of dollars. Deep-sea mining could result in both direct and indirect job generation. Jobs would be created in mining operations as well as supporting businesses such as shipbuilding, equipment manufacturing, R&D, and environmental monitoring. This would spur industrial expansion and potentially revitalize coastal areas by providing new economic opportunities. Currently, a few nations dominate the supply of essential battery metals, most notably the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, for cobalt and China for rare earth elements. This concentration raises a geopolitical risk that could disrupt supply chains. Deep-sea mining could assist to diversify these metal sources, reducing reliance on single-country suppliers and potentially stabilizing prices. While there is significant economic potential, it is important to evaluate the impact on countries that rely largely on land-based mining for these metals. Traditional mining economies may encounter challenges as deep-sea mining becomes more prominent. Countries that rely largely on these metals exports may need to diversify their economy to avoid potential economic downturns. Deep-sea mining has enormous commercial potential. It is critical to balance economic advantages with environmental costs. To ensure long-term prosperity, the correct balance must be struck between the economic potential of sea mining and the need to safeguard marine ecosystems. If maneuvered carefully, the deep sea might deliver not only a solution to the globe's battery metal shortfall, but also a significant economic boost to economies around the world. The potential of big profits from deep-sea mining could draw major investments, both domestic and foreign, resulting in a capital inflow into economies involved in this young industry. Furthermore, the export of valuable minerals has the potential to enhance trade balances, increase foreign exchange reserves, and develop national economies. Sea mining operations' high-tech nature may spur innovation and improvement in a variety of related sectors, including robotics, underwater exploration, and environmental monitoring systems. Countries and businesses at the forefront of technical developments stand to benefit significantly economically. There is also the possibility of transferring these innovations to other industries, giving additional economic stimulation. Deep-sea mining could provide an abundant supply of battery metals, lowering raw material costs for battery and electric vehicle (EV) makers. This could result in lower consumer prices and increased adoption of EVs and renewable energy solutions, contributing to economic growth in these areas. While deep-sea mining has significant economic potential, potential environmental consequences must be considered. Marine ecosystem damage could have ramifications for sectors such as fishing and tourism. Furthermore, tighter environmental restrictions and monitoring systems are anticipated to be necessary, thereby boosting deep-sea mining's operational expenses. Deep-sea mining success could have an impact on global energy markets. Because increased availability of battery metals may hasten the adoption of renewable energy and electric vehicles, existing fossil fuel-based businesses may suffer. Economies that rely significantly on these sectors may need to adjust and diversify to compensate for this transition. Finally, mining's possible social impact and sustainability should be evaluated. On the one hand, deep-sea mining's job creation and economic growth could contribute to higher living standards in countries that participate in the business. On the other hand, there may be societal consequences in countries that rely on traditional land-based mining, as these jobs may be displaced over time. In the future years, deep-sea mining has the potential to transform the global economic landscape. While it promises new wealth, it also brings with it a slew of obstacles that must be carefully controlled. Deep-sea mining must be performed responsibly and sustainably in order to maximize economic rewards while minimizing environmental and social consequences.